Hey, welcome to Scholar Hour. I am Moya. I am a tax and college funding specialist. So, what that means is I can help you get to your goal for your family and for yourself with ease. The other thing that I want to let you know is what we're going to be using today, what we use for every Scholar Hour, and Scholar Hour is 7 days a week. What we use is a toolkit. So if you don't have the toolkit, take a moment, send me a DM, and you're going to type in the word toolkit, one word, toolkit, and you will get a link so that way you can do what you need to do to make sure that you can get started with your toolkit. The other thing is I'm going to really do my best to keep Scholar Hour. Let me put my timer on. Scholar Hour to 1 hour. And so if you have any questions, once again, send me a DM at College Village. Okay. Send me a DM at College Village. So that way, any question that you might have, send me a DM there. Otherwise, in order for us to use our toolkit, you're going to send DM the word toolkit so you can get the link and you can get it from there. Okay. The other thing is, I just want to say great job. Great job for taking this process serious because it is. What we believe at College Village is legacy over loans, meaning what you have for your family. And even if you are a child, just know that eventually one day you are going to become an adult and you don't want the burden of student loans. And in many cases, that is what's offered when you are applying for college and they sprinkle in scholarships. And as of right now, the federal Pell Grant has been reduced. So the bill that just passed did reduce the federal grant. So going to college is going to require a lot more. So I want to say kudos to you. Great job. And for the next hour, we're going to go through the whole process. And if you stay to the end, you will get an understanding. I'll give you a bonus so that way you know how to get your essay edited. So by the end of this time period, especially if you're using the toolkit, you will have an outline done. And you're going to also want a piece of paper, okay, and something to write on because you're going to be basically given sentence prompts and then you're going to write what you're going to write, okay? So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so let's go in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the college dashboard. So this is when you get the toolkit, this is what you're getting. You're getting a lot. You're getting the scholarship starter kit. You're getting the Master in Maximizing Financial Aid, SAT, ACT vocabulary, HBCU, personality. I have so many people come to me and say, I want to go to an HBCU, but I just don't know if there's an HBCU that matches me and my personality and what I like. So there's an assessment, and then there's a book, and then there's a cost comparison. And we're going to actually use this today to keep track of our scholarship. And then we have our student planner, okay, which we're going to, or student planner, and it just goes through what needs to be done weekly. And then this is a bonus for you doing anything with business, okay? High school or college, because remember, at all cost, we are avoiding student loans, okay? We're avoiding student loans because not only is the Pell Grant reduced, the federal Pell Grant reduced, also what is reduced, or yeah, I'm going to say reduced, is access to subsidized student loans. So when your parents and I were going to college, we'd go to college and we'd take out student loans and they would, be a small percentage and we could push it off. Not anymore. The new bill recently also allowed and really pushed forward more private loans. So one, that means higher interest rates, and two, a more aggressive policy to for payback. So that's why this process of making sure that we go through our scholarship essay template is going to help you. Okay. So first off, you definitely want to have your scholarship essay template open. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to go back to the college dashboard, and you're going to open, I like to use, so let me show you two things. This one here is the scholarship list tracker. So this is a list of scholarships. So let's say it's Saturday afternoon and you're like serious. You're like, let's say your junior year, you're definitely, let's say you're senior. Oh my God. That means for sure Saturdays you're looking at scholarships and you just want to take a look. This is a full list. Don't worry about the year. Many times that scholarship will come around the same time next year. So if you look at it and let's say it says July 30th, 2024, still go to that website, because you can go to the website and realize, oh, they're doing the same thing again, July 30th, 2025. So this is a list of scholarships here. Where you're going to go right now is here to the HBCU college comparison. We're going to a different part though. Okay. So open that up for me. Okay. So now, once you have that open, I also have a list of scholarships here. I have scholarships for you everywhere. Okay. Scholarships everywhere. But you're going to go to the bottom of this list here. I think I went too far. And you're going to input the scholarship information. And I want you to get into a habit of doing this every time we are meeting. You're just going to look for the scholarship, excuse me, and then you're going to input the information. Okay. So here, Emily's light. And you can go on scholarhour.com to get like the link. So that way you already have it open and you can easily apply for it there. Okay, if you don't have access to this, yes, you can go to File and then click Make a Copy. Okay. With all of these documents, you're going to most likely need to make a copy. Okay, so there's the scholarship information there. This scholarship, we're going to select national because it's going to tell you. It's going to say, is it merit-based? If it's merit-based, that means it's based upon grades. Need-based, meaning based upon finances. Athletic means that you're athletic. Diversity means like, they're looking for diversity. And diversity can mean a wide variety of things. If this is national, which this scholarship is, most of the scholarships that we do during Scholar Hour are going to be national. The best scholarships, meaning that ones that increase your chances of getting it, are going to be local though. And then there may be in some cases where it's an other. Okay. So we're going to say national and we're going to go here. You're going to copy and paste the link. In this case, I do like to format it. I just like it to wrap. Okay. The date. In this case, it's July 30th. You can always double check. Here it is, July 31st. Okay, so it lets you know you have 9 days left. The good thing is if you focus during Scholar Hour, you will be able to complete this. Like if you've done Scholar Hour before with me, then you kind of know the flow. So this Scholar Hour, you will just use as like a time frame in your calendar to say, what is today's scholarship? Is this something that I want to do? You could always go here and you can go to the scholarship predictor or calculator and say, and just answer these, it's roughly 10 questions here to say, am I going to do the scholarship that Ms. Moya told me about for Scholar Hour? Or am I going to do, like if you're working with me directly, then we've already looked up a set of scholarships and a method of how you can get access to local scholarships. And you have a list of scholarships there. Okay. So you find out, okay, which one is more beneficial for me to do today? Okay, I'm going to do the Scholar Hour Scholarship. Okay, and then that's how you're going to measure it. Now, date submitted. Ideally, if we go through this whole thing, and once again, I'll show you at the end of how you can get your scholarship, how you can get it edited and have a quick turnaround. Like knowing that this one's 9 days away, I'm probably going to give you a quick turnaround of 24 to 48 hours. Status. So you're going to put in progress because we're literally doing it right now. And this one's for 3,000, but I just want to show you. $3,000 right there. If you want to, you can always copy and paste it. Okay, we won't copy and paste it. And I'm going to show you why, because I've changed the formatting. This is no bueno. Okay. Don't change the formatting. The reason is because it auto calculates. Okay, so I'll come back to that part later. So $3,000 in progress. So let's go to our scholarship. Okay, so this is Emily's Light CF Foundation and Scholarship. What I'm going to do now is we're going to go into talking about this scholarship because this is going to help us really understand how we're going to apply for the scholarship. One is available. Okay, so scholarship provided in honor of Emily Innit Burnett and her legacy of inspiration through educational and personal achievement. To be considered for the Emily's Light Scholarship, please complete the application linked to below and return to us by July 31st. Scholarship details. Scholarship awarded in honor of Emily Innit Burnett's legacy. Applications evaluated on essay, academic performance, extracurriculars, and writing quality. So I do want to take a moment. I'm just going to take a moment. I want to show you the student planner. So this student planner, especially if you're working with me directly, this is something that we already make sure that there's a solid or think the type of that you want to take when you're thinking of what you want to do, how you want to present yourself. This planner here we go through out like what the curriculars that you need to take, what meetings do you need to be a part of, how do you get yourself to a college, because remember the whole goal is to get into your dream school without paying a dime. How do you get in there? By making sure that you have everything already planned out. Everything already planned out. So that way you can do what you need to do so you can go and be who you need to be, who you want to be. And one of the basic parts about this is just planning it. And I do know as parents, sometimes you get very, very, very busy. And so working with us allows you to really take a step back and say, okay, you know what? Let's see what they do, you know, they being us here at College Village. And we understand that it takes a village to send a child to college, especially their dream college, without paying a dime. Okay. So this is so your parents don't have to be like on you all of the time. Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Because they get busy too. So that's what we work on here. So when you're applying to a scholarship like this one, you already have everything planned out. You already have it really underway. Okay. So winners will be notified in late August. This is important as well because when you are planning your money, when you're looking here to see what's awarded, what hasn't been awarded, what's been rejected, you're going to put it here and you're going to keep track of it. And let's say you went through and, you got one that was awarded, one that was rejected. That's okay. That means, instead of me going to Scholar Hour 3 times this week, I'm going to go to Scholar Hour 5 times this week, 2 more times, because I need to increase my odds of getting a scholarship. Okay. So that's how I really want you to look at this when you're planning this process out. Because with planning, we can make it all happen. So scholarship funds are sent directly to the recipient's educational institution within 10 business days of notification. This is also important because when we talk about something called scholarship displacement, like let's say, for example, your college is $50,000 to attend. And let's say you've been working with us here at College Village and you have $100,000 in scholarships. In terms of scholarships, your financial aid package, because we've helped negotiate it, all of that, you have $100,000 available to you. So what's going to happen is your school's going to say, yeah, we're going to only take the $50,000, and sorry, that other $50,000 that you earned, you're going to have to just give it back, or it's going to have to go aside. We're not going to be able to use it. So you want to be able to have an understanding of, okay, Ms. Moya, we need to see, because I'm definitely going to Howard. I'm using that as an example. And then we're like, okay, then we call the financial aid department. Like, we do a variety of things to make sure that the funds are able to be used in whatever ways needed. So it's not just left in this pot that you could have had aside. Okay. So this is very, very good to know. So that way we know how to plan. Okay. Must be applying for scholarship funds for the coming school academic year. Complete and submit the official Emily Light Scholarship application by the deadline. Here we go. Must demonstrate academic achievement and active involvement in school or community activities. So once again, it goes back to our student planner. Like, what have you done? And it's not only what have you done, but also tying it through. So it's a clear through line. It's a clear message throughout your college time, throughout your high school. Many of you, if you're in a senior or junior high school time frame, of what you need to be doing. Okay. So that's something that's really, really important that you want to understand here. And it must be a well-written essay, responses as a part of the application. Access and complete the scholarship application from the provided link. Answer all application questions thoughtfully, particularly the required essays. Submit your completed application by July 31st. So I want to go back here. When you open it up and you find out that there's actual different types of essays, what we finished today, you're going to be able to plug it in and play it wherever you need to in that area. What you're doing is you're already having it set up. You're already having it edited. It's already ready to go. You're just going to put it in the place that they tell you to put it in. Okay. And then you're waiting on the selection committee to review all submissions. So one of the things I always tell everyone that's working with me is, I want you to picture your essay in the hands of somebody that's read already 50 essays. Yes, you put it in your head that you are essay number 51 that they've read that day. And also understand that we're going to see here, when you understand people in the committee, like, all applications are reviewed by an independent committee comprised primarily of individuals who knew Emily or are connected with cystic fibrosis treatment or research. Okay? This is important because these people, most likely, because it's an independent committee, they have full-time jobs. They're working full-time, and they're doing this because it's something that's important to them. This is something, so they're usually volunteering their time. And guess what? They're human just like everybody else. They get tired. So you need to understand that whatever you do, your essay needs to wake them up. You wake them up. That's how popping your information, and it's got to be coming off the screen. If they print it out, it's got to come off the page. You want to have passion in your essay. It's something that's crucial, because your essay, you always have it in your head, I'm essay number 51 that day. What's going to make them really pay attention to what I wrote? Okay. Applications are scored on essay answers, achievements in school, extracurricular activities, and quality of writing. Okay. So now let's get into putting together our essay. All right. So different types of essays, you're going to be focusing on different types of information. Some information, what we have here is what you want the person that's reading your essay, what you want them to gather from your essay. Okay. Remember, this is going to be a template that you're going to receive. And from there, you're going to put your answers down. So that way you just type it in, you're going to review it, and then you're going to send it. I'm going to show you how to do that at the end. So that way you get it edited for you. Okay. So we have emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership examples, community focus, connection to future goals. So knowing that this essay, we want it to be an essay that, at least in the beginning, we want to have emotional appeal, because the committee, who was the committee? Who do they know? They actually know the person. They actually know Emily Innit. They know them. So we want to make sure that we want to have some emotional appeal throughout this essay, because this person's usually doing, in terms of when I say doing, they're hosting the scholarship and or they're on the committee because that person's important to them, right? There's an emotional connection. So you also want to tap into that emotional connection that they're already feeling doing this position, okay? So before I go on, I do want to highlight something here. Many times we do use ChatGPT in order to provide us context, in order to provide us a level of research and understanding of the scholarship that we're applying for. So before we go into any scholarship, we want to do a little research so we have it in our head where we want to go. When you read what they're looking for, and then you do a little research on the scholarship, research can take you like 5 minutes, even less than that, you're going to see. And it allows you to have an understanding of, okay, where do I want to go with this, and what's something that's important? Okay. So Emily Innit, Burnett Scholarship Fund. I might say, you find information on the my chat GPT is acting up right now. So I've already, I don't think that's a library. It's not giving me the button. Here it is, right here. So here we are. So this is information about the scholarship. Okay. It gives the person's date of birth, the time that they died, and it gives information on what they're looking for. Okay. They're looking for, the foundation focuses on educating, uplifting, and supporting those affected by cystic fibrosis, inspired by Emily's strength and positivity. So if I were you, I would definitely take a moment to write down those words in terms of education, uplifting, and supporting. That way, when you're writing, you can make sure that you include them in your essay. Okay. Okay, so the scholarship honors Emily's passion for learning, her personal achievements, and selections based on academic performance, extracurriculars, and personal essays. So that we knew. Okay, we also know that it's July 31st, that we knew as well. Excuse me. So Emily's story. Despite her health challenges, she thrived, graduating with honors from UCLA, earning a law degree from UNC Chapel Hill, clerking in multiple jurisdictions, and contributing to global clinical research at quintiles before her passing. So this is an opportunity for you to understand. This is why we do a little more research so we can get an understanding. What about Emily's story connects with you? Because keep in mind, once again, the selection committee are people from Emily's circle. They know who Emily is. Emily, or they know about cystic fibrosis. There's some connection to Emily. So for me, I went to UCLA. So if I'm writing it, I'm going to put UCLA in there. Okay. I'm going to mention UCLA. Like, wow, that says a lot about her. UCLA is a challenging school, especially for her to be graduating with honors. Let's say you're from North Carolina. I would put, somebody from North Carolina in there. You want anything, if you always wanted to get a law degree, if you always wanted to be a lawyer, I'd put that in there. Any type of connection you want to highlight, okay? The foundation scholarship keeps her spirit alive, encouraging confidence, resilience, academic excellence among young people impacted by cystic fibrosis, okay? So this is you directly, if you have somebody in your family, however the connection is, you want to go ahead and highlight that. So that's going to make your essay really stand out, okay? Another thing that I want you to know is this. If you, let's say you didn't have anybody with necessarily with cystic fibrosis, but you had somebody that had an ailment that was fatal, that, where they passed away from it, you want to put that in there as well. You want to showcase anything that highlights you demonstrating confidence, resilience, and amongst all of that, still having academic excellence. So if you have these stories, if you have this, I want you to be thinking about this now, because that's what we're going to put into our essay. Okay. So now let's get back into it. So if you filled this out before, it may already have some of the information that you have there. You might already have it. Okay. So waking up, I knew today was going to be blank because standing in front of the mirror, I imagine blank. In the quiet moments before blank, when, name an event, I felt fear grip me because in a world filled with uncertainty, blank, as I dive into the depths of my thoughts, I find myself surrounded by blank. Did you see those? Do you see the impact of that? Your essay number 51 that they've read for the day, and you start with standing in front of the mirror. I imagine, whoa, this person is engaged in what you're going to say. Okay, so make sure whatever you're writing after it. And so you're going to pick your sentence, you're going to pick whatever it is. If you have an event in your life that you want to describe, boom, we're going to start with that right first sentence out the gate. We're going to start with that. Take a moment. You're going to write IEA, because that's going to be a marker to let you know where you're at, what you're responding to, and then you're going to write that down. Take a moment and jot that down. What is it that you are talking about? You felt a fear grip in what area? Okay. In these moments, you have a story in mind. You have a place that you want to take them. Okay. Now we're going to talk about some background here. Once again, for this one, I might pick emotional appeal again. So the way that it works is I've put this together based upon sentences that you already, there's a select amount of sentences for each one of those. And so what it allows you to do is see where you want to take the reader, and we have openings that will take the reader in that direction. Okay, so I want you to understand that's how that works. So when we pick a perspective or a mindset we want the reader to be in, that's what we start with. So now we're going to go into a background. Okay, so you can say, drawing inspiration from my heritage and upbringing, I draw strength and resilience from. Okay, ding, 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 ding. Resilience was one of the words that were listed because we're talking about Emily Innit. Remember, the scholarship is always about you connecting what they said. That increases your chances of getting the scholarship. So it's definitely about you, but it's about you getting the scholarship. I want you to always keep that at the front of your mind. Raised in a close-knit family where love knows no bounds, I've been blessed with with roots deeply embedded in the rich cultural tapestry of. I have been shaped by a sense of pride and identity that, with roots deeply embedded in the tapestry of blank. Okay. So do resilience. So this one, we're starting to talk about leadership. So I might do a leadership example because they do want to see some sort of, here we go. My ability to lead with confidence and competence comes from, once I showcase my leadership skills by, organizing and coordinating and exhibited leadership qualities by, leading by example means, in challenging situations my leadership style involves. What does that look like? Yeah, you may have saw it. You may have saw it. When they were talking about confidence inside the description of what they're looking for, this might be something that I would talk about. Okay. Once again, if you have that idea of what you want to say, my ability to lead with confidence and competence comes from, where does it come from? So take a moment and write that down. You're going to do LLE and then write down what you have. Okay. Write down, what does that look like? All right. So now we're going to connection. So we can go back here and decide which one you want to do. Emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership example, community focus, connection to future goals. So when we're talking about adversity, and we're talking about in terms of this particular scholarship, they want to connect it to future goals. They want some sort of connection to say, how did you overcome what you overcame by dealing with whatever you've been dealing with? What have you done? So this would be a perfect opportunity within discussing an adversity, talking about how that connects with your future goals. Okay. A key lesson I have learned from overcoming adversity is, one of the toughest challenges I have overcome is, my approach to overcoming obstacles is, overcoming obstacles has shaped me into my blank, strength looks like blank. What does that look like for you? So take a moment, you're going to write down A, C, F, G. And once again, when you're looking on the document, because you're going to get a document with all of your information, it's just going to let you know, okay, this goes with this. What I was writing about this sentence is matched with this. So so when we're writing down that beginning part, it's just to let you know what sentence you're going to be matched. Like this line, the information that you're writing down right now, where is it matched? What is it matched with? Versus you attempting to write down this entire sentence, right? You don't need that part, especially knowing that it's already going to be there for you. Okay, strengths and weaknesses. Which one do you want to highlight in this moment? Remember, when I'm picking one, it's just me picking one, but this can be anything that you want to choose. So choose something that you want to highlight. Okay. So this is for hands-on experience. Reflecting on my weaknesses, I've realized that in challenging situations, I found that my weaknesses include, when I reflect on my strengths, I think about reflecting on my strengths. I realize that I'm confident in my ability to, okay? One of the things I want you to keep in mind when we're talking about strengths and weaknesses, what that means is your weakness is said in a way that it's just like saying, yes, this is a weakness. And how does it shape who you are? How does it get you closer to who you want to be? What is the benefit of identifying this weakness? Okay. And the same thing with your strengths. What does that even mean? Reflecting on my strengths, I recognize that. And then I just realized you just need to just do S, W. And for this one, this is hands-on experience. And this is H, E. So which one do you want to choose? Emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership examples, community focus, connection to future goals. Which one? You could just do skill development because we're talking about work ethic. It really is up to you. Okay, it's really up to you. You can go through this entire essay and do emotional appeal the whole way through. Like if you know that you have a story in mind that you are looking to tell, know that you could do emotional appeal the whole way through. Okay. So skill development, if there's actual skill that you're talking about here. In my academic journey, I've learned that. In challenging subjects, I have found success by. I have worked hard to maintain my grades by. I take pride in my academic achievement because one thing I've noticed about my academic performance is. So in this one, whichever one you're choosing, I'm going to say these last three for this essay, for this scholarship, I feel is relevant because this is something that they've highlighted. Academic performance, academic performance. When we learned about Emily Innit graduating from UCLA with honors, going to UNC Chapel Hill to get her law degree, clerking at in multiple jurisdictions. Like they are for sure telling us that, hey, if she did it, I want to hear how you're doing it. And I want to recognize you for also being as confident, as positive, as resilient as Emily Ann was. Okay. So work ethic, WESD. And then take a moment to write down what your thoughts are. And the reason why I have you take a moment to write them down now is because I want you to remember it. Okay, because you might say, okay, I want to take this here. But if you just select all these and you don't have an idea of where you want it to go, you are definitely going to still put your outline together. The question is it going to flow in the way that you want it to flow? So you just have to already know how you want it to flow. And when you're in the moment of putting it together, of thinking of the essay, that's what we're going through Scholar Hour the way that we do. It allows you to think of how you're going to put it together. Okay, role model, emotional appeal. Okay, in this particular case, because we know that we're dealing with a person, like an actual person, and the scholarship committee they have some connection to Emily. Okay, at this point, when we're talking about a role model, I would encourage you, if there is an actual connection, like if there's something that you connect with. When we looked up on ChatGPT, and I want to emphasize that we looked up on ChatGPT to get more information about their scholarship. You will not go on ChatGPT to put your scholarship together. Okay, that's very different than getting insight and information versus actually putting an essay together on ChatGPT. Okay, it's gonna lack depth of how you want to tell your story, on top of the fact that many times they actually put it through an AI reader to see. Because while you and I don't see it, there are actual codes inside of this AI that if a person takes the information and put it in there, the AI can read it and say, no, this is AI. Okay. So my mentors have inspired me to pursue my passions by. My mentors have instilled in me a sense of. In challenging times, my mentors have provided me with. So what does that look like for you? What does that look like for you? In terms of if you can connect it to Emily. Like, even if you have, let's say your mentor could be your mom. Let's say your mom. And then I would find some way to connect it because, when I look at my mom and she overcame X, whatever X is, it reminds me of Emily doing the same thing as a law student at UNC. All right. So we're finding ways to connect it because this person, they definitely want to read about you. What they're also reading about by reading about you, they're reading about the person that they care about or the subject that they care about. So if it's Emily, Innit, and Burnett, if it's about cystic fibrosis, they want that to come through as well and really speak to them and touch their soul in a way that makes them say, wow, I've really picked an essay here that exemplifies who and what Emily is. Okay. So you want to take a moment to truly see how what that looks like. Okay. Roll RMEA. What does that look like for you? Okay, so my career, you can choose any one of them that you want to choose. This one we can talk about community focus. Reflecting on my career, my future career, I'm excited about. I am passionate about the idea of contributing to society through. When thinking about my future career, I am inspired by. In envisioning my future career, I see myself. My future career goals are driven by my passion for. My career aspirations are guided by my interest in. So once again, remember, yes, it is very much so about you, but in this particular scholarship, how does that coincide with what was important for Emily? Like, do you have this similar future goals? Like, do you want to be a lawyer? Do you want to be a judge? Do you want to be a law clerk? Like, what is it? Do you want to attend UCLA? Just decide how you want to build that connection. Okay. So let's do MCEA. And what is that connection to you? Reflecting on my future, whatever one you picked, how are you building that story and that connection in? Okay, so now we're talking about the conclusion. Now we're talking about the end. The end, how are we going to do it? Emotional appeal, hands-on experience, skill development, leadership examples, community focus, connection to future goals. So we're talking about a person here. So we'll do emotional appeal. Looking ahead, I'm excited about the possibilities of, and wrapping up, I'm inspired by. In summary, I have come to understand that as I reach the end of my journey, I am grateful for, and wrapping up, I am reminded of. Okay, what does that look like for you? Okay, CEA. Take a moment, whatever one you wrote down, what is that a connection to? What is that a connection to? All right, so then you're going to click submit. I want you all to go to your email. Okay, you're going to go to your email, and in this area, you are going to open up. So several emails came through. And once I pull up my email, I'll let you know. But you're going to open up the one that is the Google Doc. You're going to open that up because this is the one that you're going to be using to replace what you've done. because I go from tab to tab, it's usually easier for me to just share my entire screen. You're gonna have to just clean this up a little bit. Okay. So you're gonna get rid of this. Thank you for your submission. You obviously don't need that. And then you're gonna start typing. So these emotional peels, you're gonna clean these up because you don't need that. But I suggest you do it when you're at that part. No. Okay. So emotional peel, introduction emotional peel. I know I did that one. Um, you're going to remove that one. So you're going to just go through here, and it's basically an order. However many sentences you wrote down, and when you see this dash, that's how many you have here. Okay. So these, whichever way you feel most comfortable, you can actually go through it and do it as you go through it. So you can just quickly get to the sentences that you want to see. And then you don't need the time frame. Okay. And then I want you to start going through here and really typing it out. Okay. During this time, you're really going to put this together and type it out. Okay. So now, while we do that, I did say at the end, and so this would be a great time for you, if your mom or dad or your parents nearby, for them to hop in. And so, mom and dad, if you can hear me, if you're nearby, let's hop in so that way we can discuss next steps. So, the great part about it is, as long as you have the toolkit, you coming to Scholar Hour every day is going to be extremely beneficial for both you and your child, because you will have regular routines of, so we started here. Once it loads up, I have so many tabs open. So on the college, this is on the college dashboard. This is one of the areas here. So this here is the scholarship tracker. And if we go to the bottom of this list, you could apply for same time next year. So when you go to the bottom of the list, it has the scholarship that we are completing today. Okay. It's the Emily's Light CF Foundation. They were supposed to go ahead and input this information when we first started. So we have it here. We have the website, the day that it's due, and the fact that it's in progress. As we are going over it, either now on Scholar Hour, or once we are officially done, they'll continue. What happens next, and when they finish it, then there's a method of how, because many times you're thinking, okay, what do I do? Do I submit it? Do I not submit it? And we know that things, being able to truly get in a flow, it requires a village. We believe that it is a village, takes a village to send a child to college, especially to their dream college, without paying a dime. So that's where we step in here at College Village to make sure that you have that village that's available to you, especially when you're working and you're busy and you're like, how do I manage everything? Manage it is by joining our community here at College Village. It really allows you to see what is is needed for you and your child to truly thrive, to truly, truly thrive. Okay, what I see. And so the great thing about this school community is that your child gets to one, know other kids in the same manner. We already have a new comment here. Okay. First commenter. And they list, they answer the question. I'm in 10th grade. I'm currently looking for my dream college. I want to be a basketball player or a real estate agent. And this is where it starts. It starts with us building a community of other kids. Because many times, especially depending upon where you live, especially if they're a child of color, they might be one of the few in the class. So you get to be amongst a group of kids that look like you, that have the same desires as you, and you can feel the energy of being proud of who you are and how you're growing up. And so this is really what College Village was designed to do. On top of the fact that we have editing. So every time, so once you belong to College Village, within 24 to 48 hours, we are able to turn around your essay, if it's an essay that you work with us, at Scholar Hour, and to make sure that it's in the way that it needs to be. One of the things, especially when you're joining College Village, is that it allows you to take the time to get an understanding of what does your child need. Because going to school, it's not the way that it was when we were kids. It's a strong process that requires a level of planning. And so with my clients, in terms of how I started with taxes, we have to plan. I had clients that they're making X amount of dollars and now they're school for their child to college. And I'm saying, no, you don't have to do this. Or they're talking about taking out a parent plus loan. And I'm like, no, there are other. That's what it is that I'm letting you know about the benefit of joining College Village. So you have the ability to truly know, hey, I don't know everything about what's needed for my child to get into college. I don't want them to, and I want them to have package, and that includes financial aid, that includes scholarship. This here, this college, but we go in depth, okay? And I don't want to really focus so much on it right now, but I just want you to know the level of planning that it takes in order to get this financial aid. We're going in depth. When you're meeting with me, it's in-depth process on the schools that your child is looking into. We have a college expense estimator. And what this does is it estimates some expenses that your child would have. And then we have to. This is something that is easily to not truly pay attention to, but you need to make sure that your investment, you have a return on your college investment. Gone are the days that you just go to school because you were told to go to school. No, you go to school for a purpose. You go to school to get a return on that investment. So this is something that we are going in depth by. Careers that we have. Okay, so if you're paying X amount, this is the school that you really want to attend. So we're not talking about going to a school because you think the name is cool, right? Or you have a friend that's going. This is a truly in-depth process, and all of these are linked. Everyone except the college. That's in another spreadsheet. Type in the scholarship that we did today, but this comparison tool is also really crucial. But in terms of this here, now we're looking at the post-college budget. We're looking at 401k. I'm telling you, I did not come to play. I want to make sure that everyone that for the area that they're going to be in, we're talking about the career list. How much are they making? What do you need to have? So we can have all of this planned out. Now, one of the things that have changed just because of the new bill that passed is the federal pushing to. So we'd have to update because this interest rate, it has gone up. We have to update that because we need to know now private student loans, which you want to avoid at all costs. But sometimes when you're filling out financial aid packages, and let's say you have 3 or 4 schools that you want to go to, in these packages, we want to see, does this really make sense? Is this going to be beneficial? Let's plan it now. I'm telling you, we don't have to live that life anymore where we're just going to college because we think this is the best college, but we have no actual, tangible information based upon what it is that we are going to do and who we're going to be. We don't need to do it that way anymore. There's a new way to decide how you're going to go to college. And one of the ways that we need to start talking about in our community is how we plan to get that 6-figure scholarship and financial aid packages from the school of our dreams and attending it without paying a dime, nor as a parent breaking your back knowing that you have to get to work, to pick the kids up from after work, to get dinner. Even if you and your husband are doing this together, you and your partner are doing this together, and you guys are realizing, oh my gosh, that we still want a life. We still want to go to dinner. We still want to go to the movies. We still want to enjoy ourselves. But in the midst of you enjoying yourself, do you want it to come at the cost of you paying an extra $50,000 a year? Because college is expensive. Is that the cost that you want to leverage out? I don't think so. So you joining our school community is going to be that extra step to say, this is a no-brainer. You're telling me I get all of this access, all of this information, all of this planning, all of this tax assistance, all for just this? Yeah, this is the introductory rate. It's the introductory amount, okay? You being a part of something that's going to bring your child forward. And so I'm super glad that you are joining our school community. So just send me a DM if you're like, I want to join. Send me a DM at school, SKOOL. That's because that's how they spell it when the login. So it's school, SKOOL. And that way you get all of the information. And then you get on a calendar and we can have a talk so we can really start planning it out. We're not going to do all of this in one day. Everything that you saw there, that is a long process of planning. But I want you to understand that every year makes a difference. When they're looking at your FAFSA, and I want to leave you with this, the FAFSA, that is based upon 2 years prior. So if your child is entering 10th grade, guess what? They're looking at your 10th grade taxes and they're looking at your 11th grade taxes. So when I say I'm a tax specialist as well, I do tax preparation, that's what I'm licensed for. That's the information that we're using. That's our basis. That's our foundation that we use to plan all of this. So we know which way to go. If you have assets, we need to talk about what do we do with those assets? If you have a business, everybody's telling you to go one way. I'm telling you right now, I'm 90% sure you're going the wrong way if you want to maximize and get the 6-figure package for your child. You're probably going the wrong way. And it's not any fault of yours. It's not any fault of yours. It's just that our system doesn't let us know how to properly utilize it. So that way we don't have to pay as much. DM me the word school, SKOOL, and I'll send you the login so that way you can get started and you get on the calendar and we start this process right away. And your child's able to send me. So you want to do it today so your child can send me their essay because this essay is due quick. Okay? Until next Scholar Hour.